Good. You? Let's see you. Hey. Why don't you introduce the workshop? Say what you're about to do. And...
All right. My intention for tonight's yoga class will be to connect the yoga with 3 elements: love, magic, and nature. So I'll go into more detail when we do class. Love, magic, nature. It's LMN. It's very easy to remember. It came to me just the other day in the yoga class. And so I'll attempt to explain and make relevant the yoga in relation to love, magic, and nature.
Can you say a little something about the space and what's happening here?
Faetopia is a temporary space where there's different workshops and circles and yoga and performance and films and art exhibits, and it's only here for a week. It's the old Tower Records space at Noe Market. And over here you have this formerly Judy Garland section, and over there's formerly the Barbra Streisand section. And so yeah, it's just like a temporary art installation is what it feels like. So I'm encouraging people to get here because it's going to be gone soon. And it's hopefully going to be a model for future endeavors. You know, people making temporary use of vacant space. Darling, sorry she's busy.
Thank you.
So that's good. How are you doing? Good. So, that sounds fun.
Let's take the sound away from the sound system. Okay. Hey, hello. Who are you?
I'm Randall.
Randall. And where are we, Randall?
We're in a temporary week-long installation of Faetopia, built in part by the Comfort and Joy Camp at Burning Man. And we've got some things going all week. We've got some random things going on just certain days. And we've got a movie every night and another movie following it every night. Right now we're about to do yoga.
Can you say a little something about Faetopia?
Well, I like that it's an alternative expression for Pride Week. You know, basically we have our Faerie Freedom Garden at the Gay Pride Festival on Sunday, but somehow the intention just gets toppled by everyone else who arrives, and for instance, the exhibitionists who just jerk off for the cameras. It kind of, takes the intention away from the "we're naked and it's not about sex" thing.
Are you an artist?
I'm an artist.
Did you contribute artwork to the space?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, I really kind of, didn't get involved as it was, rolling together. I showed up here the first day, getting introduced to it when it was already kind of in progress. But still very excited and trying to figure out how to contribute. Thank you.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
Good, you?
I'm good. Just gotta check on my stuff.
Can I interview you, Zach? Actually, why don't you walk around?
Walk around.
Yeah. So, who are you?
Hi, I'm Zach Benfield, and I'm one of the lead organizers of Faetopia. This project is 19 days old as of today. We originally got the call about almost 2 weeks ago saying, can you guys throw together a community center for the Week of Pride? And we did. We have 2 distinct art exhibits that were entirely conceived of, executed, and displayed within 2 weeks. We have a live theater performance that we wrote, directed, costumes, cast, scripted, and set in 9 days. It's kind of an experiment in what can a previously existing community accomplish if they're given the opportunity to use a space. So I want to give you guys a tour of the art because it's one of the things I think is most spectacular, is that in this piece here, what we've done is we have tried to bring home the intense disaster that is the Gulf oil spill into terms that gay men can understand. We envision that the Gulf oil spill takes place off the coast of Baker Beach, and rather than just beautiful pictures of sea turtles and beautiful pictures of the other fauna and flora that is going to be decimated by this catastrophe, that we actually have pictures of something that San Franciscans would recognize as our own queer ecology of the beach, which is hot, naked gay boys playing on the beach, having a great time, and then the oil spill comes. And it makes it come home to us in a way that pictures of fried sea turtles in the Gulf of Mexico and pictures of decimated marshes and scientific projections of the end of the world don't really help us on the West Coast to understand the severity of our actions and our addiction to oil. But when you bring it into this context and you see these beautiful men dripping with oil, their lives being taken from them, the pain that comes from being extincted through someone else's cause, we wanted people to be able to draw their own connection in their lives, to recognize the powerlessness that they feel towards oil, to recognize all of the ways in which they are complicit in the tragedy in the Gulf, and to recognize all the ways in which they have power, the ways that they can seize power, the ways that they can change power, the ways that they can speak to power, and the ways that they can choose not to interact with power. We have the ability to choose to disengage with the oil economy, even if it's to a smaller extent, but as every person does a sweeping personal moral inventory of their own culpability in this crisis, we hope to see a place where each one of us chooses to make small-scale sacrifices for a greater good, which is the reduction of our dependency on the great dragons of the past.
And this is it right here?
This is the show.
Zach, can you say a little bit more about Faetopia?
Faetopia is basically the framework of this building. We have the ability to create a utopia here, and when presented with the opportunity of, oh my goodness, you can do anything you want, it immediately conjures into existence ideas of what are the utopian futures we want to imagine. Because we're a collective with no leader and no clear hierarchy or authority, that we each had our own versions of utopia. We each had the own things that we saw as being most important to present to a larger context and to a larger community. And so Ecotopia is a space designed to hold the visions of the 10 to 40 men that put their efforts into the visioning process. That we engage both activism like riding bikes, which is not something I do. I've never been a bike rider. I'm an active pedestrian. However, I know that's part of the solution. So part of that is providing space for all of the myriad of solutions we have available to us as we pursue our evolution as a species. And that within these, we have different points of expertise and different people who have knowledge bases and knowledge banks that are exploitable, in the most positive sense of the word exploitable, to a larger community. So we've taken the opportunity to show this is what knitting looks like. In a pre-oil age, all of your fabric was made in one of two ways, weaving or knitting. So let's show this. Let's have a Navajo loom. Let's have a European loom. Let's have hand knitting classes. Let's have food storage classes. Let's show people how to make candles and tinctures. Let's tell people the real truth about the world, which is that all of the truths of the world did not cease to exist in 1900 when the Industrial Revolution came and changed the paradigm we lived under. It just changed whether or not we had constant access to the lower arts. The Luddite platform and the Luddite community is still alive and with us, and still very much has applicable political theology that says basically we as humans have the ability to create things without machines. We as humans have the ability to do things beyond what we've ever conceived of. We made a choice to transition into an oil economy. We made a choice to transition into this sort of like dystopic future, and we can choose to transition back out of it.
So what you guys are doing, is this important?
Is this important in turn? It's hard to say it's important. It feels like it would be a lot of gay privilege to say that this is an important action right now.
What can you say about it then?
I could say an important action right now is to quit your job and go to the Gulf and actually spend months trying to say what is there. And that this is, the perfect example of what you can do if you have a little bit of energy. A lot of energy can go a lot farther away. I don't know if we're important. I don't know if the gifts that we give on the small scale to this neighborhood actually echo out into a larger queer context. I'm not sure if we even have the ability to change anything. We'll be the ability to do anything other than inspire anxiety in people about their own personal behaviors. But Toni Morrison said, when someone gives you a soapbox, you need to stand on it and make a speech. And it is time for us to make speeches. And as soon as the level of action becomes available to us, we're going to take it. This is the time for the Lilliputian army to gather up their sewing needles. We have a giant to fall, and we don't have any particular plan about which way he's going to come down or what we'll do with his body as the oil economy comes to a crashing halt. We need a way for us as queer people, for us as straight people, for us as any people to transition to a new age of balance, beauty, and delight that is post-oil with some sort of plan in place. We need a roadmap of how we're going to get to a society that is actually just. And until someone proposes a roadmap, each one of us has to trailblaze. It's up to each one of us to find which trail, which path is the closest I can come to sustainable and just. And ask ourselves, am I walking this path with every action? And at some point, the powers that be will give us a plan that might work for us. And until then, we are on our own, and this is a jungle of terror, and we have got to work for the path.
I'm not, no. You have a dedicated store? Okay, how long is it?
That is an 8 equivalents. Everybody over there?
Let's dilate a little bit.
So, how are we doing? So, hello, thank you for coming to the yoga class this evening. How are you doing? A couple more people, okay. Shall we go around with names then? I'm Yoga Daddy. Yochi. Steve.
Mini Queen.
Morningwood.
Mikey.
Lucky. Tinkerbear. Bebo.
And me, Benchi, or John.
That's Bunny and Tiger Lily. So, I recently had a bicycle accident, as some of you may have heard. So this will limit me from demonstrating tonight a lot of things, but I will do my best to explain and point out others in the room who are being role models. So Steve, that means you. So the shoulder injury has given me a chance to feel like a beginner again with the yoga. So it's really quite fabulous. So I understand how it is to start from scratch. And so I'm doing a very watered down version of my normal yoga. And I thought I would share that watered down with you. So half the calories, same price. So it's a beginner's class. It'll be very simple, an hour and 15 minutes with the yoga. Okay, so I thought I would attempt to bring 3 elements into the yoga, into this yoga practice. This came to me the other day in the yoga session. These 3 elements. L, M, N is how it goes. Very easy to remember. L, M, N. Love. L is love. M, magic. And N, nature. So I'll explain more. I'll try to bring these elements into the room tonight and connect them with the yoga. So to start then with love, is very the chakras are a very good model to demonstrate love, and isn't it? So love can be like a heat that rises, isn't it? Yeah. And this heat is also rising with the yoga practice. There's that element of upward movement. So the chakras, they're in the Indian model. There's 7 chakras. First one is at your taint. Is referred to as Mula Bandha in this practice. And of course, this is where love begins sometimes, isn't it? You feel a little tickle there, a little lift, or expansion, opening. And so this is a good quality to bring to your yoga practice and to approach the yoga with love, as if the yoga turns you on, and then you get a little tickle here. So of course love can manifest in the genitals, the second chakra. We've all experienced this. Sure. In the belly, a full feeling. Love is in the heart, isn't it? And the yoga too is very heart-centered, heart-opening practice. So, in the throat. Okay. So, since we're talking about love, I'll explain a little bit about the Ujjayi as it relates to this. Okay, the Ujjayi is a particular style of breathing that's very effective with flowing type of yoga. Ujjayi sound happens in the throat. Ujjayi literally means victorious. And victorious, exactly like that sound. And so, when you're breathing during the yoga, the idea is to try and breathe in and out through your nose, but with making a sound in the throat. So now in India they have a mantra that goes with this sound. And so it's sa, ha. Sa is the sound of the inhale. Ha is the sound of the exhale. And in northern parts, Tibet and Nepal, they have a different mantra. Is so hum, actually, so hum. And so you can imagine so hung in the back of your throat, if you like. And this is the love, this brings the love into that. There will be adjustments.
And remember to breathe, right, while you're thinking? Remember to breathe.
Remember to breathe, yes. So hum. So, and then here, it's the vision, the chakra visions. So it's, I'll get more into that in the magic element. And then the crown chakra is the seventh above the hip. So in the yoga breathing, the breath is moving upward with the inhale, just like heat rises, and so I like to think of heat and love as being very related, in fact, maybe the same thing. So that's something I feel when you're practicing. To also remember to love yourself when you're practicing yoga, and be good to yourself. Isn't it? So, okay, magic. Shall we move on to magic? A very wise elder fairy once said to me that when we were having a discussion about fairies, and we were, it was hard to find any one commonality what a fairy is. But then this person suggests perhaps the one commonality is the element of magic, the belief in magic. So the yoga is very simply a magic exercise. It's a form of magic, actually changing your body, changing energy, and shape-shifting, even if you will. You know. So it's one of the things that really draws me to the yoga in the beginning, is this magical element, how good it feels. And so I would certainly encourage you to look for that, tap into it, if you like. In the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali even talks about yogis developing special powers. It's very, this idea of magic is very tied in with yoga. A yogi's lying on the bed of nails and so on, stopping their heart beats. I won't be teaching that tonight. Come to my advanced workshop. Okay. So, very good. Is that enough? Nature we can move on to. So, the element of nature then, I've heard yoga described as a form of nature, or an imitation of nature. And so, even when there's not a lot of trees around, even when you're not in nature, you can still do yoga and be in a natural state, And it's good to think of one's own nature, your inner constitution, If you're like a tree, like a skinny tree, it bends easily in the wind, versus Faerie doesn't bend so much. So it's good, just like that, to be with your own nature, with the fluid parts, and noticing also the parts that could be more fluid. That's where the breathing can come in to help move things along. It's good also to take into account the nature as in the cycles of nature. So now it's summer. So maybe it's a little easier to do yoga because there's heat around. Well, maybe tomorrow. But also the yoga generates heat. So the cycles of the moon also come into place. Saturday morning is the full moon. And so during the times of the moon, the yoga might be easier or more difficult. It's just depending on how you take it. If it's more difficult, you take it easy. And I always like to say, if you're having a hard time with yoga practice at any point, then you can always change your mind. Be real with your own nature. Any injuries you have, or things going on, places that you're feeling, and be real with that. Don't try to push through anything, or don't feel like you have to be anywhere in the stretch. It's just about being where you are and not competing with others. Being in an easy, relaxed place, and most importantly, the breathing will help with this. One of the main goals of yoga is to sort of tone the mind, to bring the mind in a more focused, aware state. And so the breathing is the one thing that's most helpful in toning the mind, calming down the mind. So, any questions? Joe, would you like to assist tonight? All right, so Joe will be assisting tonight, and maybe we could do asking each time with adjustments. Is that all right? I won't be doing adjustments so much because of my injury, but I can still sort of direct the class. So verbal adjustments. Yeah. All right. So then, if there's nothing else, we can begin. We'll just start with the feet together and the hands in prayer. Here, setting an intention for your yoga practice, if you want to. Taking a few deep breaths. And we'll just do an Om together to start the class. Taking your arms down to your sides. We'll start with the sun salute A, beginning with the arms up, hands together, looking up to your thumbs. Then exhaling, bending at the waist, bending forward all the way down, dropping your head all the way. Then lifting your head, inhale, flattening your back here. And then exhaling, step or jump back to a push-up with the feet separate, lowering down to a push-up. Inhale onto the tops of your feet, bringing the toes back, lifting your chest. Very good. Exhaling, pressing back into downward dog. And now staying here for 5 breaths, beginning with the Ujjayi sound, listening for the sound of your breath in the back of your throat, creating a victorious sound. And then on your next exhale, bending your knees, looking between your hands, then inhaling, step or jump forward. Now bringing your feet together and lifting your head. And then exhaling, dropping your head, bending forward. Then on an inhale, come up all the way and circling your arms over your head, looking up to your thumbs. Exhaling, arms down. There's 1 round, we'll do 4 more times like that. Inhaling, arms up, hands together. Exhaling, bending forward, dropping your head, and lifting your head. Inhale. Exhaling, jump or step back, lowering down into a push-up. And inhaling into upward dog here, trying to lift your knees off the floor. And then exhaling, pressing back to downward dog. Here, if you tuck your chin towards your collar, you can get maybe a more resonant sound with the breathing. Then on your next inhale, jumping or stepping forward with your feet together, straightening your legs. And then exhaling, drop your head all the way down. Then coming up, inhale, hands together over your head, looking up to your thumbs. Exhaling, hands down. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhaling, bending forward. Inhaling, head up. Exhaling, do a push-up. Inhale, move to upward dog, rising your chest. And exhaling, back to downward dog. So the yoga then, there's a lot of details, isn't it? So this is why I wanted to bring up these qualities of love, magic, and nature in the beginning, so you can feel it's more than just the details. And when you're breathing in the yoga practice, to try and feel more of what's going on inside. Then on an inhale, bringing your feet together at the front of your mat with your head up. And then exhaling, dropping your head. Then coming up all the way, inhaling, hands together, looking up. Exhaling, arms down, standing. And then again, arms up. Exhale, then move forward. Inhaling, lifting your head, flattening the back. Exhaling to a push-up, elbows in. And then with the upward dog, relaxing the shoulders down, hugging the elbows in. Exhaling back to downward dog. Here, spreading your fingers and then pressing away from the floor with your hands so the hips are lifting up and back. And then inhaling, bring your feet together, front of your mat. Exhaling, drop your head. Here also, if you lift your belly, you can bend forward a little more. And then, coming up, inhale, arms up. Exhaling to standing. And then once more, inhaling. Exhale, then move forward. Inhale, head up. Exhale, push up. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling back. Downward dog. In Sanskrit, the term for flow yoga is vinyasa, which means sequence. In this case, the sequence of poses is linked with the breathing. And then finishing on an inhale, feet together, straight legs. Exhaling, drop your head. And coming up, inhaling, arms up. Coming up. Exhale, push arms down. Now we'll do 3 for the second part. Bending the knees first. Inhale, arms up, knees still bent. Exhaling, bend forward. And now straightening your legs, dropping your head. Inhaling with your head up. Exhale to a push-up. Or down, same like before. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhale back, downward dog. Now with your right leg, take a big step forward. Turning the back foot sideways and flat. And coming up to standing. The front leg's about 90 degrees. Inhaling, arms up, looking up to your thumbs. Exhale, hands down, stepping back, and then rolling down into a push-up. Inhaling, upward dog, chest rising. Exhaling back, downward dog. And now second side, left leg, big step, back foot flat, coming up, front leg bending. Inhale, arms up, hands together. Exhaling, hands down, stepping back, lowering down, push up. Inhale, sliding forward so your chest comes between your hands. Exhaling back. And now this time, staying here for 5 breaths. If you tune in with the taint, the Mulavandha, the point at the perineum, and also with the lower belly area, if you can feel an inward and upward movement each time you inhale, this is one way to get more into the yoga practice, to tune in with the core, lifting inward into this center of the body. And then on your next inhale, step or jump forward. Feet together, straight legs, head up. Exhaling, drop your head, bending forward. Then bending your knees like you're sitting back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, just standing, arms down. And again, bending your knees. Try to keep the knees together if possible. Sitting back, arms up. Exhaling, bend forward, dropping your head. Inhale, head up. Exhale, to a push-up. Lowering down. Inhaling, into upward dog. Exhale, back, downward dog. And now right leg, big step. Coming up. Inhale, arms up, hands together, looking up. Exhale, all the way down, one long exhale to the push-up. And inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, back, downward dog. Now second side, left leg, big step. Coming up. Straightening the back leg here. Inhale. Exhale. To a push-up, elbows in. To upward dog. Inhaling. To downward dog. Exhaling. And staying here 5 breaths. Even when you're in a pose for some time like now, then you can still try to feel some movement happening with the breath. And then finally on your next inhale, bring your feet together, front of your mat, head up. Exhale, dropping your head. And then bending your knees. Inhale, arms up, hands together. Exhaling, standing. Last one. Again, bending your knees. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bending forward. Inhaling, head up. Exhale, good push up, lowering down. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhale back, downward dog. Now right leg, big step. Arms up. Inhaling, looking to your thumbs. Exhale to the push-up. Lowering down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale back, downward dog. Now left leg, big step. Coming up, inhale. Exhale, push up. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale back. Downward dog. 5 breaths here. The idea of the sun salutes is to get warmed up. So hopefully you're starting to feel some heat building. And this is again one of the magical elements of yoga. You're actually making alchemy or creating heat where there was none before, or where there was less heat. And then on your next inhale, jump or step forward. Exhale, bend forward. And then with the knees bending, sitting back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to standing. Okay, very good. So we'll continue now with some standing poses. Holding each pose for about 5 breaths. First with the feet hips width apart, making your feet parallel. And then bending forward, take a hold of your big toes. If this is not possible, you can hold the elbows instead. And then if you're holding your toes on an inhale, lift your head, straightening your arms, flattening your back, and then exhaling as you drop your head, taking your elbows out. Staying for 5 breaths here. So if anything feels uncomfortable that I'm telling you to do something, of course, please to ask for a modified pose or ask if you're not sure how it's going. And then for the second part, if possible, slide your hands under your feet so your toes come to your wrists. And then with your head up, straightening your arms, inhale, and then exhaling as you drop your head, again taking your elbows out, relaxing your shoulders. There's sort of a trance-like quality from the breathing in the yoga as well as another element of magic that you feel as you're practicing. And from here, first lift your head, inhaling, and then exhaling, bring your hands to your waist. And then with the flat back, up on an inhale. And then exhaling, bring your feet together. Now stepping out to the right, about 3 feet wide, more triangle pose, with the right foot turning out, heels lined up, and arms wide, inhaling, and then with straight legs, reaching out to the right, and then dropping the right hand as far as the ball on the leg or the foot, or if possible, grabbing the big toe. And then with the left hand going up, looking up towards the palm of your hand. Staying for 5 breaths here. If you ever find a really sweet spot in a pose, you want to stay a little longer, that's fine. And then on your next inhale, come up, turn your feet, left foot out, the heel can come back a little bit. And then again with straight legs, exhaling the left hand down, right hand up, turning to look up to your palm. If this is too much, then you can look to the side instead. Then on an inhale, come up, turning your feet again, and then turning all the way so that you're facing your right leg. With straight legs again, facing the right leg. And then on an exhale, take your left hand towards the floor. If not, then to your leg instead, or to your foot. And then the right hand goes up, turning to look up and holding the other hand. Here you can think about on an inhale, come up, turning your feet and turning to face your left leg. Again, straight legs. Exhale, the right hand down. Left hand up. Now this time, taking left hip back. And outside his foot. Exhale. Coming up, inhale. And then come back to the front of your mat, feet together. Exhaling. Now again, stepping out to the right, taking a wider stance, about 4 feet wide, with the left foot pointing forward and the right foot turning out. Again, with the heels in line. And then with your arms wide, inhale. And then on the exhale, bending your right leg. So your leg's at a 90-degree angle, the knee over the ankle. Taking your right hand to the floor outside your foot. And then sweeping the left arm up and forward like you're shielding your face from the side. That's it. And then looking up towards the stretched hand. Very good. And then coming up on an inhale. Turning your feet. And then exhale to the second side. Left leg bending. Left hand outside your foot. And then sweeping the right arm up and over. Yeah. Lifting that arm. Yeah. And coming up on an inhale, changing sides, turning your feet, maybe a little bit shorter stance for the twisting. And then on an exhale, bending your right leg, taking your left elbow outside your right knee. Yeah, very good. And then if you want to try reaching like the last one, and look up to the stand. Yeah. And then coming up, inhale, switching your feet, and then exhale, twisting to the left, bending your left leg, like turning this foot forward a bit. Yeah. Very good. Reaching here. And, yeah. Very good. Coming up, inhale, arms wide, and then back to front.
Ready? So we're gonna, so just speak up to Kyle if you wanted, you can change.
Now again, take your feet
Well, not
wide,
we can't make changes, but just
and
like,
about 3.5 feet wide, maybe more if you're taller. And then with your feet parallel this time, bring your hands to the floor between your feet. that's not possible, you can hold your elbows instead. Then on an inhale, lifting your head, straightening your arms, and then exhaling, dropping the top of your head towards the floor. Staying for 5 breaths here. If you need to modify the pose, you can bend the knees slightly, or otherwise, if it's possible to do with straight legs, try to make the thigh muscles very